The late 90s were a divisive time period for gearheads. On one hand, you had spectacular supercars and rev-happy imports making an impact, but on the other hand, the non-Halo cars of the period were unspectacular to say the least. But there were several shining stars from the time period that went underappreciated. Here they are. Plenty has been written about the Taurus SHO, but smart Ford customers looked a little further down the lineup and found a car that is now all but forgotten, the Contour SVT. Granted, the fact that it was special order only and only available at specific dealerships didn't help much in getting the word out, but anyone who went the extra mile was rewarded with a 200 horsepower engine and a 5-speed manual transmission, and of course, upgraded brakes and suspension. So maybe I'm fudging the timeline here a little bit technically, but you could have this car on the road in 1999, so deal with it. And you might think it's hard to consider a model that sold 129,000 units as underappreciated, but the Alero had the potential to be a leader for American sedans. Better design than the Taurus, more power than the Malibu, and more comforts than the Dodge Intrepid. Available with a 5-speed manual and a 170 horsepower V6 engine, the Alero was available in coupe or sedan form and provided a sporty yet subdued vehicle not found in the GM lineup of the time. The mid-90s Mitsubishi Monteros had the distinction of having racing aspirations drive development, and also meant that, yes, you too could own a vehicle just like the one that competed in the Dakar Rally. It's a pity as the technology put together in the Montero outshone the rest of the pack. In an era where SUVs gave you the choice of either 10 miles to the gallon or a horrendously underpowered engine, the 3.0-liter SOHC V6 turned out 177 horsepower while still giving up to 17 miles to the gallon. The Montero also introduced the groundbreaking Super Select 4-wheel drive system. You can still spot plenty of them on the road too. They've shown to be dependable vehicles as time has passed. While every late teen girl was all over its import twin, the Mitsubishi Eclipse, the Talon flew under the radar. Under the hood, the Eclipse and Eagle featured interchangeable parts and had an available all-wheel drive system that, while commonplace now, was innovative in sports cars at the time. The Nissan Silvia derived 240SX is remembered fondly amongst the fanboys, but when it came to efficient, user-friendly models from Nissan, the 200SX SER was a gem. It was marketed as an affordable sports coupe, but apparently that marketing didn't work too well. The 200SX underperformed to the point that Nissan shut down production after the 1998 model. Completely overshadowed by 6th generation Accord and Civic Coupe models, the Prelude faded into obscurity in the late 90s, petering out at a sales rate of only 12,000 per year for its final generation. It's a shame because even the stock Prelude held great promise. A 2.2-liter 195 horsepower under the hood gave it a great weight to horsepower ratio. Above and beyond such budget track day favorites as the Mazda Miata. It was easily modifiable as Honda's screed of cheap and reliable meant that repairs and upgrades were fairly easy for anyone with a sense of the technology. You may have some cars of your own that you feel are underrated, but you can't deny that these models in retrospect deserved a little bit better than they got. Check back for more auto news at Gearheads.